Welcome to St. Peter's Lutheran Church for the Musical Arts live stream concert series. We're so glad you could join us this evening. We'll be getting started in just a few moments. Please remember that our donations tonight benefit Lancaster Food Hub. The address is on the screen right now, but we'll talk more about that later. And we'll have a brief video in a few minutes to feature some of the work that they're doing in our community. So please sit back and relax, and we'll see you in a moment.
The Lancaster County Food Hub is a nonprofit registered 501c3 organization that serves Lancaster County. Rooted in faith and compassion, we provide services that honor the dignity of all by striving to meet the basic human needs of food, clothing, and shelter. We are easily accessible at our location on 812 North Queen Street in Lancaster City. Last year, we provided food to almost 36,000 individuals and helped over 11,000 people with much needed clothing, all at no cost to them.
Hello, my name is Bob, and I faithfully serve at the Lancaster Food Hub as a volunteer. My involvement at the Food Hub has refined my faith, and I have loved serving every Thursday and Friday. I help to distribute food, I take clients' groceries to their cars, and I prepare bags of dry good food items and stock the shelves. Sometimes I supervise the donation sorting and help to prepare the fresh fruits and vegetables that are donated.
We are so grateful for volunteers like Bob who generously give of their time at the Food Hub. Our volunteers are truly the hands and feet of our organization. In fact, they donated 14,260 hours to help us serve our underserved neighbors. We invite you to partner with us as we continue meeting the basic needs of our community. Interested in learning more? Give us a call at 717-291-2261 or check out our website at lancasterfoodhub.org. Together, we can make a difference.
Please stand by.
Hi, everyone. Little technical difficulties. We expect these, right? It's a weird world. So good evening and welcome to St. Peter's second online musical arts concert for the 2020-2021 year. My name is Adam Lefevre Hughes. I'm the director of music here at St. Peter's. And in an effort to minimize in-person contact in large groups and to keep everyone safe, this year we're hosting a variety of concerts using this online format. So we're really glad that you're joining us. We hope that these concerts will continue to enlighten and serve the community. The arts, I really believe that the arts are a part of what make us who we are as human beings, and we're really glad here to be able to share these moments with you, even in strange times. So, all of this year's concerts will be put together by people with personal connections to St. Peter's. Tonight, we're really lucky. We're going to hear from Mason Emmert. He's a former member here at St. Peter's, and he is currently the director of music at St. John's Lutheran in Boyertown. Just a fantastic musician. So, and then coming up on the 27th of March, the children of St. Peter's, we're putting together a musical, if you can believe it. We're putting together a musical separately in our own homes. So that's going to be a lot of fun, too. Due to the relatively low costs associated with presenting these concerts, instead of asking for donations to offset our costs, we're asking that you take this chance to give money to support those who have been hit the hardest by the COVID pandemic. As a suggestion, we offer up the Lancaster Food Hub, which provides assistance with food, clothing, and shelter to our neighbors in need. You can donate by visiting the website down at the bottom of your screen, or you can send a check directly to Lancaster Food Hub at 812 North Queen Street. And of course, if you feel so moved, I'm sure they would love more volunteers. Your support of our community is just deeply valued, so thank you. As I said earlier, tonight we're really lucky to have Mason Emmert here with us. He's a fantastic musician, son of this congregation. And he's here to brighten our dreary February with some familiar and maybe less familiar, but still wonderful Broadway tunes. So take it away, Mason.
Days can be sunny with never a sigh, don't need what money can buy. Birds in the trees sing their day full of song, why shouldn't we sing along? I'm chipper all the day, happy with my lot. How do I get that way? Look at what I've got. I got rhythm, I got music, I got my man who could ask for anything more. I got daisies in green pastures, I got my man who could ask for anything more. Old man trouble, I don't mind him, you won't find him round my door. I got starlight, I got sweet dreams, I got my man who could ask for anything more. Old man trouble, I don't mind him, you won't find him banging round my front or back door. I got my man who could ask for anything more, who could ask for anything more. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm so excited to be here at St. Peter's for the musical arts series. As Adam said, I'm Mason Emmert. I am so happy to be here because I grew up in this church. Half of what I know about music I learned in this building, well, maybe that half of this building, before this half actually existed. But regardless, I'm so excited. This feels like a real homecoming, and the music that I've been singing largely since I left St. Peter's has been a lot of this classic old Broadway stuff. When I graduated from college, I started working in a nursing home, ended up working in a couple of different retirement communities, and really came to love the music that generation of people also loved. It was a lot of classic Broadway, a lot of old sort of Tin Pan Alley style songs, and musical theater is always something that's been so important to me. So that was sort of a wonderful discovery for me just a few years ago, and I'm really excited to share a lot of that music with you tonight. So that last song, I Got Rhythm, which of course was by George and Ira Gershwin, first appeared in their 1930 musical Girl Crazy, and it's a prime example of something that I love so much about this era of Tin Pan Alley and of early Broadway, which is the amount of radio play that the songs got. Outside of something like Hamilton, you don't really see that anymore, or something like a jukebox musical. That's not something that we get on Broadway. But back in the day, the pop singers on the radio loved to take from Broadway and to make those songs popular. That's part of what I love so much about that era. And so the next song that I'll be singing tonight is another great example of that from an absolute master of the craft, Cole Porter. This is from the musical Anything Goes. I get no kick from champagne. Mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. So tell me, why should it be true that I get a kick out of you? Some get a kick from cocaine. I'm sure that if I took even one sniff, that would bore me terrifically too. Yet I get a kick out of you. I get a kick every time I see you're standing there before me. I get a kick, though it's clear to me you obviously don't adore me. I get no kick in a plane. Flying too high with some gal in the sky is my idea of nothing to do. Yet I get a kick out of you. I get a kick every time I see you standing there before me. I get a kick, though it's clear to me you obviously don't adore me. I get no kick in a plane. Flying too high with some gal in the sky is my idea of nothing to do. Yet I get a kick out of you. So tonight, I'm going to be singing a collection of songs from the early 30s, which were these last two, all the way into the 80s. Kind of a Broadway through the ages sort of idea. And the next couple of songs that I'll be doing were by the legendary songwriting duo of Richard Rodgers and Lerner and Hart. Now, they are absolutely quintessential, one foot in Tin Pan Alley and one foot on Broadway. There's so much overlap. And they, together, were responsible for actually 28 stage musicals in a span of 18 years. They accounted for 500 songs in the time that they wrote together. So buckle in, we're doing all of them. We're not doing all of them. But they were prime examples of this type of songwriting that was so important to Broadway at the time. Those shows were often less story-driven and more created to sell sheet music. So they were writing songs that they hoped people would take home and sing around the piano with their family. I think that you can really imagine this next one being sung in just that way. But it was also a wonderful pop hit for many, many, many singers over the years. One of the most covered songs of all time, I would wager. So I hope you enjoy it. First appeared in 1940 in the musical Pal Joey, and it's called Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. She's a fool and don't I know it, but a fool can have her charms. I'm in love and don't I show it, like a babe in arms. Love's that same old sad sensation. Lately I've not slept a wink, since that half-pint imitation put me on the blink. I'm wild again, beguiled again, a simpering, whimpering child again, bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Couldn't sleep and wouldn't sleep till love came and told me I shouldn't sleep. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Lost my heart, but what of it? She is cold, I agree. She can laugh, but I love it, although the laugh's on me. I'll sing to her, each spring to her, and long for the day when I'll cling to her. Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I.
also by Rodgers and Hart. They actually wrote that one for a film all the way back in 1934, but that another, of course, pop song crossover, and you might have, the astute listener may have noticed the so-called ice cream chords. Very, very popular chord progression in pop music over the course of the 1950s that I don't want to say started with Rodgers and Hart, but this was an early example of one such pop song that used that particular progression. And I think it was a big part of what made it so popular, what made their particular songwriting style so popular. It was something that was very accessible to people. Of course, after working with Lerner and Hart for nearly 18 years, Richard Rodgers found another songwriting partner in Oscar Hammerstein II. They, of course, had a remarkably fruitful partnership together. They wrote Carousel, South Pacific, The King and I, but it all started in 1943 with the musical Oklahoma. And Oklahoma, Rodgers and Hammerstein together, and with this musical in particular, would change the face of Broadway for decades to come. Oklahoma really popularized the book musical, a show in which the songs were integral to the plot, where rather than a collection of songs that the producers and composers hoped would be popular outside of the show, they were songs that couldn't possibly be taken out of their context in the show, that were important to driving the story and demonstrating the emotion of the musical. And this first song from Oklahoma is no exception. It's called Oh What a Beautiful Morning, and it perfectly sets the scene on Curly as he's approaching Aunt Eller. First thing in the musical. So picture the waving fields of Oklahoma, the corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and some lovely baritone is singing this song.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. They don't turn their heads as they see me ride by. But a little brown maverick is winking her eye. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the sounds of the earth are like music. All the sounds of the earth are like music. The breeze is so busy it don't miss a tree. And old weeping Willer is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Oh, what a beautiful day.
So, of course, as I said, Rodgers and Hammerstein were responsible for a number of the most famous and popular musicals over the 40s, 50s. South Pacific, The King and I think one that I neglected to mention earlier, of course, was The Sound of Music. Naturally, I believe we're all aware, Christopher Plummer passed away earlier this week at the age of 91. He played Captain Von Trapp in the movie version of The Sound of Music, starring Julie Andrews. When they made the film, Hammerstein, I believe, had died by that time, and Richard Rodgers was tasked with writing a big number, a big sort of production number for Julie Andrews to perform. And so he wrote I Have Confidence. And it's the only one in the movie that's Richard Rodgers solo, no Hammerstein attached. Tonight I will not be singing I Have Confidence. I will not be singing the Lonely Goat Herd either. That was suggested to me by one of my brothers. I will be singing Edelweiss, which in the film is sung by Captain Von Trapp himself, but on the soundtrack was actually not sung by Christopher Plummer. It was sung by a man by the name of Bill Lee, who's a name that you may not recognize, but he dubbed all of Christopher Plummer's singing because Plummer, while a singer himself, the producers felt could not quite match the singing talents of Julie Andrews herself. So Bill Lee went in and dubbed the music after the fact, and he had actually done the same thing previously. He did the same thing for George Sanders as the voice of Shere Khan in The Jungle Book. Sanders was actually a singer, but they felt that Bill Lee could deliver it more strongly. So as you're picturing with me Christopher Plummer with his guitar singing this melodious and lovely song, I hope you'll also acknowledge the wonderful work of Bill Lee, who likely helped to make this song all that it was. I do have to confess that when I first heard that song as a kid, I was absolutely bored to tears. That's one of those that I really came to appreciate later in life. In particular, it's special to me because the summer before last, the last summer that you could, go places, my family and I went on a vacation to Europe, and my dad and my brothers and I spent many of the days of that trip singing a 4-part arrangement of this song that I did for us. We sang it in Austria. We sang it in Salzburg, which was the town where the Von Trapps actually lived. We sang it sort of all up and down the significant portions of that town, and it was an amazing memory, especially as one of the last real instances of travel that I had before the pandemic. So this song really went from being something that I quite resented when I was younger to something that's very special to me now. So that was the second of our two Rodgers and Hammerstein songs of the evening. And the next two numbers that I have for you are by another songwriting duo from the middle of the century. Alan J. Lerner and Frederick Lowe. They were another pair that wrote many musicals. We'll hear from two of their shows over the course of the night. But the first one that I'm going to be doing is from Brigadoon, and it's another fantastic example of a Broadway song that became a mainstream success. Frank Sinatra has covered this song. Louis Armstrong covered this song. Again, a jazz standard that people love to return to time and time again. It's almost like being in love. Maybe the sun gave me the power, but I could swim Loch Lomond and be home in half an hour. Maybe the air gave me the drive, for I'm all aglow and alive. What a day this has been, what a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. Oh, the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I would swear I was falling. I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I would swear I was falling. I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. You'll excuse me for getting a drink in the middle of our Lerner and Lowe set. Lerner and Lowe also were responsible for My Fair Lady, their interpretation of the Pygmalion tale, which has been referred to as the perfect musical. I have to admit I am not familiar enough with it to quite weigh in on that assessment, but I will say that I have had a number of experiences where I have heard a classic Broadway song, loved the classic Broadway song, and come to find that that classic Broadway song is from My Fair Lady. On the street where you live, the rain in Spain, I could have danced all night, get me to church on time. And one of the last numbers in the show is this incredibly subdued ballad sung by Henry Higgins. I've grown accustomed to her face. I've grown accustomed to her face. She almost makes the day begin. I've grown accustomed to the tune. She whistles night and noon. Her smiles, her frowns, her ups, her downs are second nature to me now. Like breathing out and breathing in. I was serenely independent and content before we met. Surely I could always be that way again, and yet I have grown accustomed to her looks, accustomed to her voice, accustomed to her face.
second nature to me now. Like breathing out and breathing in. I'm very grateful she's a woman and so easy to forget. Surely I could always be that way again, and yet I've grown accustomed to the trace of something in the air, accustomed to her face.
When I mentioned earlier, Rodgers and Hammerstein had redefined Broadway for decades to come. One way that they did that was in experimenting with the form and creating this, well, not creating, but proliferating this idea of the book musical, which had been started a few decades prior with Showboat by Jerome Kern, which was also the first musical to feature an interracial cast. That was the show that set the standard for the book musical, and Rodgers and Hammerstein are just the people who made it what it was and properly united melody and emotion into what we now know as the formula for a Broadway show. But they had a different impact as well, in that Oscar Hammerstein was the mentor and some would say father figure to another giant of composing for Broadway, Stephen Sondheim. Hammerstein actually created a lyric writing course for Sondheim, which included adapting a property for the stage, creating an original property for the stage, all sorts of different songwriting assignments and that sort of thing that, that if you're familiar with the lyric writing of either of them, draws a very compelling comparison. They are incredibly clever. They think about rhyme in an amazingly sophisticated way. And it really draws your ear through the song and allows you to make connections to the lyrics that you might not otherwise be able to do. So I do have a couple of songs from Stephen Sondheim this evening. The first one is from Merrily We Roll Along. And if you want to talk about changing the form of a Broadway musical, this is a great example. It's a story that is told in reverse. It starts with a pair of friends sort of looking back at their lives, and it ends with the same friends in their youth sitting on a rooftop in Manhattan thinking about what their lives will hold. This is a song that the characters in the musical write and perform during the show, and it's called Good Thing Going.
Started out like a song. We started quiet and slow, with no surprise. And then one morning I woke to realize we had a good thing going. It's not that nothing went wrong. Angry moments, of course, but just a few, and only moments, no more, because we knew we had this good thing going. And if I was that such a mistake at the time, you never wanted enough, all right, tough. I don't make that a crime. And while it's going along, you take for granted some love will wear away. We took for granted a lot, but still I say it could have kept on growing instead of just
The next song that I have for you this evening is another Stephen Sondheim one, and it's another one that I truly despised when I first heard it. I have since come around for similar reasons. The song is from the musical Company, and it's called Being Alive. And when I first heard it, I was a kid. I didn't really think much of the melody, which I thought didn't really go anywhere. And I didn't really think much of the words, which I thought were pretty repetitive. And it didn't really connect with me. And I knew that it was this big, famous show tune. And it wasn't until I heard it again last year, like I think many millennials, when it was sung by Adam Driver in the movie Marriage Story. But you know, as I've come to grow up, I have also come to understand the way that this song is about adult life in the way that it is very much not about a child's life. And I'm grateful to sort of have the opportunity to rediscover this song and to find joy in its lyrics that I previously didn't think that I would. So I hope that you enjoy Being Alive from Company. Somebody hold me too close. Somebody hurt me too deep. Somebody sit in my chair and ruin my sleep and make me aware of being alive. Being alive. Somebody need me too much. Somebody know me too well. Somebody pull me up short, put me through hell, and give me support for being alive. Make me alive. Make me alive. Make me confused. Mock me with praise. Let me be used. Vary my days. But alone is alone. Not alive. Somebody crowd me with love. Somebody force me to care. Somebody make me come through. I'll always be there, as frightened as you, to help us survive. Being alive. Being alive. Being alive. Now I hate to improvise, but I'm going to do an extra song. The last song that I have for this evening is written by the other titan of musical theater composing, who is named Stephen Schwartz. And I love his compositional style so much. It's incredibly varied. In the 70s, he wrote both Godspell and Pippin, and in the early 2000s, he wrote Wicked. And as a lifelong fan of The Wizard of Oz, as a once daily viewer of The Wizard of Oz, not since I was 3, I happen to love Wicked very much personally. I think that the score is near flawless. But Pippin is another one of his shows that is so important to me. It was a dream role of mine for a very long time, and I was really lucky in my senior year of college to actually get to play the role of Pippin and sing a bunch of my favorite songs. And I'd like to do one of those songs for you tonight, even though my apologies to Eric, he does not have a title card ready for it because I just decided it right now. But it is, of course, Corner of the Sky from Pippin. It is the quintessential, in my opinion, I Want song. This is the, This is the song that at the beginning of the musical, the main character sings, and it tells you exactly what to expect from the musical. And Pippin is a little bit different because it's not structured quite the same way as your average musical theater show. It's not quite as driven, it's not quite as plotty. It features the main character running around and trying a bunch of different things and mostly not being satisfied with them at all. And so here, at the beginning of the show, we have Corner of the Sky, and it's kind of generic. It's not a very specific I want song. What he wants is not anything in particular, it's just to find something. So, I personally love this show, and I personally love this song, but in particular, I love the way that this song sets up a very unusual show and a very unusual plot. So I hope you enjoy, even if you've maybe heard it 1,000 times, Corner of the Sky from Pippin. That's all the improvising I'll do for this evening, I promise. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and thank you so much for not being here tonight. I know that this is an unusual format, and I'm certainly not used to it, but like I said at the beginning, I am incredibly grateful to Adam. Thank you so much for having me. To Eric, thank you so much for working out all of this crazy, amazing camera and microphone stuff. Boy, am I jealous. And the last song that I will be doing, in my opinion, needs no introduction. It is from Stephen Schwartz's musical Godspell. I think the song speaks for itself. Thank you again very much. Plow the field. Thank you so much. Again, I really appreciate you being here, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I hope you have a great night, and thank you again.